I'm just gonna come out and say it. Ariana Grande looks bad. She looks bad. I'm not gonna say she looks thin, she's withering away, that she looks like she's too skinny. I'm gonna say she looks bad. I think those of us who have dealt with an ED brain at some point in our lives understand what is going on, and I think that we need to change the conversation of she looks unhealthy to she is killing people. She is harming children.
We aren't commenting on Ariana Grande's body. We are calling out the fact that if something doesn't change, she is going to. She has a terminal illness. Look up the statistics on Anna. People acting like we're not allowed to point that out under the guise of no body shaming are driving me nuts. This is not about her looks. This is about her life that is at risk right now. And her team, friends, and family are all failing her.
At what point is it appropriate to talk about Ariana Grande's weight? Also, I'm not saying that Ariana Grande can't look however she likes. However, I, like a lot of other people, see her in the screenshots from her new tour and are a little bit concerned that her life is in danger.
One thing that has been impossible to ignore over the last few months, and I would even say over the last few years, is the conversation surrounding Ariana Grande and her weight, her concerning weight loss. The conversation really intensified after her weight loss in 2023 and then became almost impossible to avoid during the Wicked Press Tour. People seem to be having the same discussion. Every red carpet, every interview, every performance, every paparazzi photo. What's interesting is that this conversation didn't start with Ariana Grande. If anything, it seems like a conversation she would like to avoid entirely. But it's everywhere. It's on TikTok, it's on Reddit, it's on Instagram, it's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, under concert clips, under photos, under fan edits. And to be honest, I don't really like to talk about people's bodies. I really don't. I don't feel like it's my business. I don't think it's anybody's business to comment on anybody's bodies. Even Ariana Grande herself addressed this in 2023. She wanted people to stop commenting on her appearance because people were concerned about her weight loss and she just wanted it to stop. Whether you think someone looks good or bad, looks unhealthy or unhealthy, she made the point that constantly talking about people's bodies is not a good thing. And honestly, I do agree with her. I don't think every weight gain deserves commentary. I don't think every weight loss also deserves commentary. So obviously, even if I did notice her weight loss, I didn't pay much attention to it because I have a life. Whatever celebrities do is not my business. I enjoy Ariana Grande's music, especially when I was a teenager. I really believe that she's a great artist. She's an incredible and talented vocalist, but I don't know her, okay? I don't know her. She doesn't know me, and I don't really do this whole parasocial relationship thingy. But then as I was scrolling on social media, I really realized that the conversation was not disappearing. But whether you like it or not, Ariana Grande isn't just a singer. She's just not a simple performer. She's one of the most followed women. I would say one of the most followed people on the planet. And this also includes young girls, young teenage girls. I have little teenage cousins that are in their teens. They have been confronted already to body image issues. I was like, wait, this is bigger than just Ariana Grande. I started thinking about the girls that are growing up in this environment, in this culture where we are starting to get a little bit more and more obsessed with the idea of getting thinner and leaner and smaller. Unfortunately, this era is coming back. And I want to be very careful. I'm not Ariana Grande's doctor, so I'm not claiming anything. I'm not claiming that she has any issues. I'm not. I have absolutely no way of knowing what's happening in her personal life, okay? And that's not what interests me the most. What interests me the most was the reactions. People who are really concerned about Ariana Grande's body are also people who seem to be struggling or have struggled in the past with ED and have a hard time recovering when they see how normalized it's becoming to have body image issues and being so thin. And again, they could be completely wrong. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. That's not the point. People are not necessarily focusing on her body. I think they're looking beyond the body. They are focused on the patterns. They are focused on the behavior, the specific patterns and behaviors that Ariana Grande is displaying. Things that remind them of their own personal experiences. I kept seeing people talk about black coffee, the fact that Ariana's favorite drink, I believe, is black coffee. A lot of people who struggle with EDs did admit that, yeah, this is like a ED tactic to avoid eating, and it's like an appetite suppressor. Apparently black coffee has like 0 calories and still helps you boost your energy while eating less. I really saw people mentioning the fact that Ariana body checks a lot, and it has been even more visible on her Instagram posts, the pictures that she posted about her performing on this tour. And I will admit that the pictures are a little concerning. Funnily enough, the comments have been restricted. I find that a little bit suspicious suspicious. So it means that she kind of knows what's going on. She knows about people concerned. And a lot of people are questioning her, like, why this angle? Why this photo? I did watch a few performances from Ariana Grande, and I will admit that as much as her vocals are intact, for sure, I even will say that she improved over time. The older she gets, the better she becomes vocally. But I will admit that the energy isn't there in terms of overall performance. I know that a few years ago when she was a little bit heavier, when has she ever been heavy? Never. But when she was at a normal weight, she was very energetic. She would dance on stage and she would sing at the same time. A lot of energy. A lot of people did notice that the energy subside. The energy is not there anymore because a lot of choreographies have been adapted for her in a way that, you know, she sits a lot, she holds on more to her, you know, fellow dancers. She doesn't move as much. She does move, but it's not as energetic as before. People did notice that. And a lot of people believe that she's not going to be able to do all these shows, not with that weight. I don't know if she has 40 to 70 shows. I know that she has many shows to do. So I can't imagine her maybe dancing, singing for 2 hours, 3 hours for every show. I don't know, man. A lot of people have been quite defensive, I would say, claiming that, you know, she's 32, so she's not gonna perform like before. Come on, 32 is not old, okay? 32, if you live a very healthy lifestyle, 32 is far from old. I mean, Beyonce, Madonna, you know, they were singing, performing on stage with no problem at 32. Hell, Doja Cat is 30. She's gonna be 31 this year. Did you guys see her last performances on her last tour recently? She's giving it her all. Okay, you don't end up crumbling at 32. Okay, stop. When she posted those pictures on Instagram, I will admit that I was shocked. I was a little bit surprised because Ariana has always been thin, but this is very thin. And for the fans defending this, I think that there's a little bit of delusion because if every teenage girl or everybody or a family member that you had being so thin looking like that, y'all would be concerned. Even I lost weight, okay? I lost about 20 pounds. I was never fat, but I lost 20 pounds unintentionally because I started going to the gym because of my 9 to 5, you know, with the 9 to 5, the pounds and the kilos start going up because you're not moving. I'm 140 pounds for about 5'7", 5'8". And even in my family, people were starting to get worried. I mean, I don't think you guys think that I'm that small, but for my family, it's like, stop here, okay? You are getting small, very small. But I think there's a cultural difference here because the white folks are praising my weight loss, but the black folks in my family are concerned about my weight. And I will make a video about that because there is a difference in the way black women and white women see their bodies. We don't handle body image the same way. And again, like I said, this whole veganism thing, the fact that, you know, we know that Ariana Grande has been vegan for years. She was officially a vegan in 2013. She said she always had a very healthy diet. She was mostly plant-based, but then she just had to remove meat out of her diet. And a lot of people are saying that she's using veganism as a cope-out. And I've seen comments of people agreeing, like people who struggle with EDs admitting that, yeah, a lot of people who are plant-based use it as a technique, another way of restricting themselves. And I've seen these comments since, you know, Ariana was unpacking her bag. She had like a bag. She was like, what's in my bag? I'm unpacking. And apparently it was not a vegan bag. It was a bag made of calf skin, something like that. And people were like, how do you claim to be vegan and care about animal life? You're wearing a bag with animal skin. So people are like, you're not being coherent here, you know? So am I saying that she's not a real vegan? You know, I'm not vegan, so this is not my place. I'm just saying that it's very interesting that people are saying that she's using veganism as a cope-out. Then there is the Karen Carpenter comparison that for me felt very symbolic because apparently she was a big artist in the 60s, 70s who struggled with anorexia. Can't say the word. And apparently she was recovering, but it was too late. Her body gave in and she died at 32. And what's sad is that people made the comparison a little bit like, yeah, but Ariana Grande also is 32 going on 33 on June 26th. But like, if she does not wake up, maybe she's past the point of recovery. Whether those similarities are real or imagined is secondary to the fact that so many people are noticing that in the first place. And unfortunately, I've also also been warned that noticing somebody's weight loss, somebody's sick appearance can also become a form of validation. So even confirming this whole thing with Ariana Grande, maybe she's seeing these comments and maybe she's enjoying it, like, well, it's working. Not talking about it is a problem, but talking about it is also a problem. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. We're dealing with a culture that constantly reward thinness while simultaneously pretending to be concerned about the consequences. Because if the goal is recovery, how exactly are people supposed to recover when the thing that they're trying to recover from is constantly rewarded or praised in the media, on social media, by people? And the more I looked into this conversation, the more I realized that, like, this goes beyond just Ariana Grande. I did notice that celebrities that were already considered thin got thinner. This is becoming a cultural phenomenon. Like, the whole culture is shifting. I think I really started noticing it when I saw celebrities like Demi Moore. I didn't necessarily pay attention to Demi Moore herself, but mostly how the media spoke about her body. The articles, the framing, the praise, the way increasingly smaller bodies were seen as aspirational or something. Like, we know who consumes this type of media. You know, it's the ordinary woman, it's the teenage girls, the young woman. And again, it was Demi Moore, but it wasn't just one celebrity. It wasn't just two, it wasn't just three, it wasn't just four, it wasn't just five. We had Alexa Demi. Alexa Demi lost weight. When I saw the press tour for the last season of Euphoria, she came noticeably thinner, really much thinner. Everybody seemed to be getting smaller. And more than that, everybody seemed to become more fragile. We saw the signs a few years ago. We saw the signs, but we did not expect that this whole skinny standard was going to come back full force. A few years ago, we were just talking about body positivity. What happened? I mean, even Lizzo was struggling to talk about her weight loss. You could tell that even losing weight was politically charged because she didn't even want to say that she was going on a weight loss journey. She called it weight release, okay? Weight release. Women were encouraged to stop treating skinniness or thinness as the ultimate goal. Then we moved into the fitness era, you know, building muscles, lifting more weights. Women started desiring to become stronger. And then almost overnight, it feels like the conversation completely shifted. Now everybody wants to be a smaller version of themselves. Lean is law. Now we're not talking about getting stronger. We're talking about getting a little leaner, a little smaller. We're trying to get tone, whatever that means. And somehow Pilates has become a symbol of that shift. I have absolutely nothing against Pilates. Okay, my mom does Pilates. Okay, I was the one who encouraged her into the Pilates game. Okay, so I have nothing against the Pilates before you guys come into my comment section. What I find interesting is that on social media, a lot of the Pilates girls or the fitness girls, some of them are positioning Pilates against weightlifting as something a little bit more feminine. Weightlifting in the gym made me puffy, it was inflammatory to my body, and I chose Pilates because I wanted to be in my feminine spirit. Girl, please. A few years ago, women were terrified of getting too fat. Then they were terrified of getting too bulky, too muscular. And we see a pattern. Women are just too afraid to take up more space. It's the same desire to want to take up less space, just packaged differently. How do you recover when every recipe is a low-calorie version of another recipe? How do you recover when you try to look up healthy meals and almost everything is high protein, low carb, low fat, how to suppress your appetite, and hacks to do this and hacks to do that? When every interaction with food becomes a strategy. Can I eat this? Should I eat that? How many calories are in this? What's the healthier version of that? Like, can I just eat food? Can I just enjoy my food without having all these questions in my head? Can I exist without trying to optimize every single little thing that is entering my body? Pause, I meant food. I feel like the culture is shifting and we are moving backwards. After years of talking about body image, about self-worth, about body dysmorphia, we are slowly finding ourselves back to the same place we started. And this is ultimately why I wanted to make this video today. Because I feel like women spend an enormous amount of time hyper focusing on their bodies. And the older I get, the more I realize how much mental energy women are expected to devote to their appearance. I remember being younger and not even knowing what a calorie was. I mean, technically, I scientifically knew what a calorie was, but it never crossed my mind when I was eating. When I was a teenager, I wanted pizza, I ate pizza. I wanted Chinese takeout, I got Chinese takeout. If I wanted something sweet, I ate something sweet. If I wanted that snack, I had that snack. I wasn't calculating anything. I wasn't tracking anything. I wasn't reading nutrition labels. I only started reading nutrition labels when I started going to the gym, because as I was trying to get advice on lifting weights and, becoming muscular, they started talking about this protein thing that you want to build muscle, you have to eat protein. If I wanted to move my body, I moved my body, and I did not move my body out of punishment. Okay. I moved my body because it was fun. Yeah, somewhere along the way, movement of the body became synonymous with weight loss or something. When I moved environments and I came into a more, I would say, Europeanized environment, when I came to France, I was so shocked at how prevalent many girls my age seem to have some sort of disordered relationship with food to some degree. And the behaviors were not severe enough necessarily to warrant a diagnosis, but they were present nonetheless. These little habits, the little obsessions. I remember when I was in college, I would hear girls randomly or casually talking about how many grams they've lost. Grams, guys, not even kilos. They're obsessed over the grams. Like, oh, I lost 500 grams. Girl, if I poop right now, I lose 500 grams. Like, food seems to be constantly on people's minds. People are not enjoying it. They're not excited about it. Like, man, you're spending more time thinking about food and actually eating it. I'm sorry. Because every hour you spend on counting calories or thinking about calories is another hour you're not spending on something else. You could be creating, you could be learning, you could be reading, you could just be experiencing your body as a human being. You're just existing as a human being. This body is just a vessel. It just helps me to walk, to get from point A to point B. I think women deserve the freedom to exist in their bodies without being monitored. The freedom to enjoy your life without filtering every experience through the lens of your body. And every time people are having these conversations, people who defend many of these celebrities concerning weight loss tend to say they love to talk about individual responsibility. They'll say, yeah, well, celebrities don't owe you anything. And I actually kind of agree. They don't owe us anything. But that was never really the point. Celebrities shape culture whether they intend it or not. That's why I find it so difficult when people act like this conversation exists in a vacuum. Beauty standards don't stay in Hollywood. Beauty standards don't stay on Instagram. They trickle down to the peasants, the little people. They end up in schools. They end up in friend groups. They end up even in family conversations. They end up rent-free in the minds of these ordinary girls trying to know where they should belong, where they should fit, what they're supposed to look like. And despite all the progress that we've made this past decade, I can't help but feeling like we are moving backwards. Not completely and not all at once, but enough to notice. If we're serious about helping people, especially women, recover from their body image issues, from their eating disorders, then we have to start questioning a lot of these things happening, guys. Like, we can't pretend anymore.